And welcome back to another episode of Enigmatica 6 Expert, where today we're about to craft the token of fear to craft the offering table. That's what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. This is the last thing we need. The only thing we really had to get were these thresher tooths, and they're kind of a mob in it seems like icy ocean type biomes. Everything else, nocturnal powder has just been found in chests. I haven't actually had to craft that yet. Bottles of darkness are just, cork and bottle in the end. And yeah, we've made all the other stuff. So, oh, yep, a little bit of tree growing lag. That's going to be a couple of tokens of fear. And it's also completed a Nature's Aura quest, I think. The one for all the different tokens. Yeah. Anyhow, let's carry on. So we should be good to now craft the offering table. And that's using that Wilden tribute, which was from that a little bit rough Wilden boss fight in the base. Yo god, you want this. Cool. The offering table. Let's have a look at our main magic quests now. So, we're actually pretty close to finishing these up. I mean, there's a couple of random bits and pieces. I need a transport spirit, and I need that sacrificial knife. But again, I'll probably just be claiming that to make it look like I've finished this. Well, I would have finished the quest, but I don't know if I'm going to really use either of those. But we need Spirit of Calling. And I believe we need that to use this for anything? Yes, Spirits of Calling are required for every single recipe that this table does. Ingots of the Skies, we're probably going to want, but we need to be crafting these Spirits of Calling. Tainted Gold, I'm pretty sure, is just, it's arcane gold. Oh, well, that's slightly more difficult to make. Might have to look at automating something like that. But cool. So the main annoying parts are going to be these runes. And they are going to require a decent amount of mana. Guster Eyes. I don't think there's Guster Spawners, so we're going to have to hunt a few of them. Blitz Powder is fine. Yeah, there's going to be some stuff that has to happen. Ditch bulbs we can go grab. Runes of Water, Diamond Hook, that's just crafting. Coral Stone Infused, I think I actually did find some of that when I was looking for the Thrashers. And any rune. Cool. So we're probably going to want to try and automate this, which means we are going to need to automate our mana generation somehow. Or what have we... Because we've got a couple of things. I mean, this is not a great setup yet. But when we were playing around, we can see we've got like a fraction of a mana pool. And admittedly, that was just from one bit of food. But it looks like this would require a decent amount. So we definitely want to get our mana generation automated somewhat. So that we can just come back here. And there'll be mana here for us to use for crafting. So, something that's always pretty easy to automate is the Endoflame. Now, why is that? Gomoralis, why is that a valid item for an Endoflame? Oh, we need to be crafting runes before we can make the Endoflame, because Endoflame is very easy to automate in comparison. Food's going to be a bit more difficult. I guess we try and automate food. We've got a bunch of random stuff here. Now, the issue was, or the tricky part of automating, is that if we throw another bit of food, it will eat it, but you don't get any mana from it. And I think if we checked another bit of food here, it kind of seems like it is working. But I think it would struggle to process that much. Yeah, you can see he's not actually generating any more mana. Oh no, it did work. Okay, cool. So as soon as he stops sending mana to our mana spreader, that's when it's time to put more stuff in. But see, look, we haven't even... Oh, we've gotten a second pixel worth of mana in that one. Okay, so I've been looking up online about some ways we can automate our Gormoralis. So we've got this messenger mana lens, and this should make a phantom mana lens. Now, mana lenses change how mana flows out of mana spreaders. So you can get ones that make the mana pulses travel faster, or they're more potent, which means they hold more mana, which would be nice. But that requires runes. But a good way, or at least a way of automating these Gormoralis flowers, is by... Oh, that was a quest. If we put this here, and we focus him onto this. Okay, so the basic lens does nothing. And then you can also combine them. So essentially, the phantom one lets the mana pulses travel through blocks because normally it stops. Messenger lens greatly decreases the amount of mana a mana burst carries. Oh, and dramatically increases the burst speed and maximum distance. Does it just mean the burst itself transports less mana, but you don't lose mana? I hope so. So somehow we can combine these two. Do we just put them on it? So we say like phantom lens, but also messenger. No. How do we combine lenses? But the basic idea of what we're trying to do is I've crafted these hovering hourglasses, and the messenger lens will make them output a redstone signal. You can put like sand in there, and then it's kind of a timed thing, but we're going to put mana powder in, and I think that means the grains of sand only move when it receives a mana signal. And essentially what we're going to be trying to do is have a whole bunch of different droppers. And so this will send a mana pulse, and if we time it right, by the time it gets to the last pulse for a bit of food, this will then output a signal to a dropper or something, which will pop up a different type of food, which then the flower will consume. And then you have like this hourglass sitting here next, and then the flower will eat that, because it looks like you can feed them, as soon as they've stopped eating, you can feed them another bit of food. So as long as we time it, like the number of pulses that comes out of this, so that he finishes, and then it pops up a different food, he starts eating that, and then this next one doesn't drop any food until the next one. Now, is that actually going to work? I need to do a little bit more research. I think actually what we do is we have like a good food in the first slot, and then bad foods in the subsequent slots, because you get diminishing returns if you feed this the same food over and over. But if we feed it something good, that's what we get the mana from, and then we feed it a bunch of just trash food, just to reset its... I guess it might have some sort of internal counter about how many times it's eaten the food recently. Maybe that's what it's trying to do. I looked at a picture on Reddit, so I'm not exactly sure how this works. But that's the general idea. I need to get some mana powder, and I need to figure out how we combine... How do we combine these lenses? So apparently you can do that. Apparently... Slime. So composite mana lens, phantom messenger. Messenger phantom. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters which way this goes. So, and I don't know if we can separate this into... Oh, you can probably. Separate it back into the other ones. So if we put this, and let's move this guy up a level, so we can actually go to the mana splitter. Ancient log, why not? It's going to look kind of cool. So, oh, we got some mana in there. Put on our composite lens. And actually, maybe this isn't going to work ideally because we want it to go through. All right, okay. If we have these hovering hourglasses, and then I think we put mana powder in here. Oh, that put all 42 in. Right, okay. And we actually want to be able to see. And let's test it in like 2 different ones. So, let's grab a decent food. We'll count the number of pulses, I guess. Because this gives you 6 of those shank things, but then 11 saturation. So one of these. Okay, so we're up to like over 100 pulses, so it's not going to be ideal. But let's try like 3. Just for testing, I'm not going to use this food. Okay, so it doesn't quite do that. I thought it did. Oh, it does, cool. And now it's alternating? Okay. But we still don't want it to keep going for so long. Because the amount of mana this is sending has been reduced so much, like the amount in each pulse, maybe we want to use worse food. Because this is going to take way too long. Well, I've kind of accidentally done it. It wasn't exactly what I was attempting to do. I think the original design I looked at was a 1.12 Botania Gormorellis automation, because I think it's kind of changed now. Whereas if you have up to 8 foods, you get more and more bonus mana generation. The issue being that unless we get into some more advanced redstone, like some sort of switch kind of thing where it knows how many signals it's had, if you get too many foods, the number of mana pulses is above a stack, and you can only fit a stack of mana powder in these guys. So the reason this is working is it's like a combination of the open crate and how slow basic logistical transporters are. And I think also just the order that this is. Although it seems to, okay, no, it seems to grab random ones, but it seems to work fine. So I kind of mathed out how many pulses you get from each food. So carrots give you 29, potatoes give you 3, tomatoes give you 3, and cabbages give you 13. And that, of course, combines to 48. So I can't use really good food, or it's more than a stack, and we'll have to do more complicated automation. And I thought it had just broken, but it didn't. It's okay. But because we're using such low quality food, and we're using carrots, potatoes, tomatoes, and cabbages, they're pretty easy to grow. They've got reasonably low nutritional value. And yeah, so we got 48. I had to kind of muck around, and just as this would tick over, I had to let it do 1 pulse and then put the mana powder in this one. So that was a little bit tedious. But it is working. Now, it's not great. Like, we don't get a lot of mana. And this may have broken. Okay, it has broken. That's unfortunate. What, did we just run out of food? No, it's broken. We're like 1 mana pulse short. So, what's the best way to get around that? I'm not sure, really. I'm not sure what the best way to get around that is, because we can chuck in another food. Perhaps we could get away with slightly less mana powder in these guys. Maybe. Because he finishes eating rather quick. If you drop more food while he's still eating, it's wasted, but otherwise it's fine. So some tweaking to do. Maybe I just try and drop the mana powder down to 47. And once we get like a decent setup, I'll just like do another one and another one and another one and have a bunch of these just constantly running, passively generating mana. At least until we get into some better mana generation in the future. But yeah, I need to sort why that stopped. This is a start. This is a start. My microphone stopped working when I recorded the last few clips. So there's been some progress. There has been some progress. Actually, when I was doing the editing, I kind of realized I was getting near a good time for ending the episode anyway. So we're going to sort of go through a quick run through of what I ended up doing. Very time consuming. It did take me a while to get this far. So that original design has kind of been just replicated again. Haven't quite sorted all of the food, but we're using creates mechanical harvesters to harvest all of this stuff, and it is hooked up to a daylight sensor back here. And it's just the distance is this far because it kind of means that this switches off, at a good time of day. Like if we come over here and right click this to change its mode, this comes all the way back. If we were to right click it again, it harvests all the food, connects back to this transporter and pipes the stuff underground to a chest, which actually might be a little bit unnecessary now. And then that's piping into some storage drawers. This is just for stuff we don't need. Everything's got void upgrades on it. Into these locked chests, and then we end up with like a dropper full of carrots, one full of potatoes. This guy's actually ran out. Interestingly, cabbage production is not really keeping up. Yeah, and then tomatoes here. So this guy's been running kind of non-stop for quite a few hours now. If I find where I've been putting my wand, I really need a bag tidy up at some point. I think it might be in here now. You can see we've actually almost got a full mana pool. This guy's over half, and this guy not so much. I've just been occasionally chucking random food at him, and I think that was the food I chucked at him last time. So he's not going to get a lot of mana from that. But yes. So this is the plan. I might need to buff growth rates. I even increased the amount of nature's aura in the area with some Oblivion Roses. And aura was really, really, really high. Crops were growing really fast. And then the crops growing kind of absorbed all that aura. And we've got some other crops over here as well, just so I can keep topping the system up. But we're going to have to get into some better crop growth in the future. But this will be enough to keep us ticking along. The next plans are potentially a vacuum trap. I need to be creating coral stone. I thought I had it. I don't think I actually did. That requires nautilus shells, which we're no longer getting from our drown spawner, which is up there. We're no longer getting nautilus shells from them, which is unfortunate. So we might go the route of making this vacuum trap, which it's a little bit of crafting, a little bit of figuring out this recipe, which is going to be kind of cool. And inside, I think this bag, we have a nautilus. So if we vacuum trap him, it puts him inside a spawner core, and then we will finally have that spawner spawning the nautilus that we tried to get really early on, which was extremely unlikely. And that was with, I've got like a really average sword, but it has capturing 1 on it, which can give you mob spawn eggs, which you used to be able to put on a spawner. which actually might not be the case anymore, because the recipes did change for some of the stuff, so maybe that's not actually a way to go. But the vacuum trap is designed for essentially being able to duplicate mobs via a spawner. So that's going to be the plan going forward. I don't think much else happened in the bits I recorded before, while the microphone was not making noise, which is a cool problem to have. It's not the first time that's happened. But just, that's where we're up to. So we'll come back next time, and we should be able to craft some runes, and carry on with some quests. Maybe get a Nautilus spawner going. We'll see how many of those shells we need. And yeah, might be able to get into some better mana automation as well. I think we can actually make Endoflames now, which could be kind of cool. But it's been ClassicDuff. Thanks for watching. We'll come back next time, and I have no idea what sort of crazy stuff we're going to be getting into. See you in the next one.